We're going to do it live. F it. What is up, Jeromes? Hello. Welcome back. It's Thursday afternoon. During free agency, we've sort of adopted. You merely adopted the live stream. We were born in it, molded by it. So we've been doing a bunch of these live streams during the afternoon during free agency, as well as quarantine time. The numbers have been really good. I mean, people obviously have a lot of free time on their hands, and I'm thankful that we have this medium that we're able to be lean and mean. You know, me and producer Ali were like a gorilla. What's the Inglourious Basterds line? I need to watch that movie again. By the way, it's my favorite Tarantino movie by far. It's bushwhacking guerrilla army. That's what we are. Because you see all these funny thing. A little bit of a rant here. So you see all these mainstream media outlets, especially in sports. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, everyone is streaming from home. Oh, everyone is recording from home. So all of a sudden, all these major media outlets, they look down on the podcasters. They look down on the YouTubers of the world. But at the end of the day, if you really break it down, it's the same technology. It is the same level, as well as hashtag content is good no matter where it comes from. I mean, the barrier to entry into media has gotten so low that lots of people are getting in the game, and the cream will rise. I mean, there are so many people who are grinding podcasts, grinding YouTube channels. I don't know if I consider myself among them, who deserve to be risen up, deserve a larger audience. They're growing and showing they're doing great things because they have passion, because they're not in it for the big fat paycheck and the lifestyle. They're in it because they just want to make good content. And I think that it's easier now than ever to build up an audience. And actually, hell, we're part of this too. Thank you very much. Coming along, being a Jerome, doing all that stuff. So this is gonna be a twofold. So we're gonna do the Q&A. We got like 78 questions. We're gonna burn through them. We got the live chat going up now. If you got a question, got a comment, toss them in. If you send in a super chat, toss in a couple bucks. Make sure to get your questions asked. Also, afterwards, we're gonna do an interactive 7-round Vikings mock draft. And here's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna narrow down each pick to 2 or 3 names, right? And then we'll just have the chat vote. So I'll say, all right, so we're going to take Josh Jones, or we're going to take Grant Delpit, right? Put 1 for Jones, put 2 for Delpit. We'll let the votes come in, and then we'll go from there. I think that'll be a lot of fun. Maybe that's how we'll start doing mock drafts now. I mean, because hell, it's got to be more entertaining just getting the Jeromes in the game as opposed to just me making my stupid picks. But you know how it is. All right. And again, I hope you guys are staying safe out there, staying cleanly, staying clean, all that stuff. I was never a germaphobe, but I have 2 young kids, and now like everything scares me. I think that's what it is. Where I wash my hands after going to the bathroom. Like that was my Mendoza line. But I never thought anything of touching my food after not washing my hands for a while, or just touching surfaces, or just never thought like, oh, maybe this hand railing's got the Rona. But now it's just whatever. Sad about Todd Gurley. Actually, not sad about Todd Gurley. That was the worst running back contract in NFL history. It really was. And you look at Todd Gurley getting cut, and you look at Melvin Gordon just sitting out there flailing as a free agent. Remember when he held out with the Chargers, who are notoriously cheap, by the way, the Spanos and company, where he was like, no, I demand more than $10 million. And then he held out for a couple of games. Then Austin Eckler stole his job like he stole his girl. And now Melvin Gordon's just flailing out there in free agency. Like, he's going to get like maybe a 1-year, $3 million deal. And that's how it goes. Sucks to suck. Maybe he would have been smarter if he went to a better university. Face. All right, so let's get into this. Let's get into the Q&A. Also shout out to Miles Peterson as well as Noodle 130. They are monthly Jeromes. You see the verified check mark next to their names. If you want to become a monthly or platinum Jerome, click that white join box button down below and find out how you can do it. All right, so let's get into the Q&A. There we go. Ethan Griffith, what's going on with Everson? Haven't heard much from him anyway. Is Ethan Griffith, is that Everson's like code name? Like Michael Vick was Ron Mexico when he was getting herpes tested. But as of right now doesn't sound like there's anything going out with Everson. There has been a contact between he and the Vikings. I do think the Vikings want him back. I mean, there's a lot of change on that defense. You would like to keep Everson, who still has some gas in the tank, as well as that veteran leadership. But the price has got to be right. And the Vikings now, like that cap space, it's going down, down, down. Even though cap is a myth, it can be massaged in many ways. I mean, you look at the Michael Pierce contract where itty bitty 2020 cap hit explodes balloon payments in later years when the cap goes up, which is fine. Everson, I believe he's been tied to the Seahawks, except the Seahawks just re-signed Bruce Irvin, as I burp and die. By the way, Bruce Irvin gets passed around like a bad penny. Yeah, but he's back in Seattle. They may re-sign Jadeveon Clowney. Oh yeah, how do you like Clowney? Hey, I had 3 sacks last year. I want $20 million, and then the market is just like, no. And now he's so pissed. It's so funny. Ethan Griffith. Is Mike Hughes actually ready to be a starter, let alone go to man-to-man and wide receiver 1? He was awful last half of last season. Well, maybe not belt buckle to belt buckle, wide receiver 1, shadow all over the place. He is working back from an injury as well. He tore his ACL his rookie year. But I just harken back to, so Mike Zimmer is always very stingy with praise. And the fact that he was so profuse in his praise of Mike Hughes his rookie year coming out of training camp, where he was just light years ahead. And if you watched him in camp in preseason, you could tell like this guy is very special. Like the injury, of course, had that setback, and plus, man, he took a beating last year. I mean, there's no bones about it. Mike Hughes was a live freaking ability last year, but I do have a lot of faith in him. I think he will bounce back. National title, Mike Hughes, by the way, he's my guy. Vikings fan. It's a very original screen name. How many sacks do you think Danielle Hunter will have in 2020? All of them. Actually, I'll put it over under. What do you have last year? 15.5? Something like that. I'll say 17.5. You take the over under on that. Ted Vick. Do you think Zimmer is happy with Cousins, or do you think he's more of a Balderrama, a.k.a. moron who hates his own quarterback? I don't know. Zimmer's completely sold on Cousins, but it is what it is at this point. I mean, it's clear that either ownership and or Spielman are really hitching their wagons to the Cousins train, extending it for 2 more years. I think Zimmer may still be in a lame duck situation, may still be on the hot seat. And I think you're seeing they're just letting that defense collapse and just completely leave. And I wouldn't be shocked if they soak a ton of draft capital into the offense, weapons, offensive line, etc. Just sort of ignore the defense and then give Mike Zimmer 1 more year, sink or swim. And then, it's easy to throw him under the bus, scapegoat, and then move on. But also, the whole argument is like, well, you need to keep these defensive pieces. Man, a lot of these defensive pieces were garbage last year too. So you pay $14 million for Trey Waynes? Shoot, get out of here. Joe was who are your favorite poker players? Well, Phil Ivey is obviously number 1. Actually, Phil Ivey was the inspiration for the Jerome name. It's a long story. I actually like Phil Hellmuth. Like his antics, it's not a shtick. That's how he actually is. I like him even though he is a stupid badger. I think his dad's like a professor or like a dean at the University of Wisconsin. One of the two. So, love Negreanu. I like Matt Harlenko. You guys may not know that name, but he's a limit hold'em, like end boss, essentially, from back in the day. Terrence Chan as well. I'm from Minnesota, so of course we play a ton of limit hold'em. But also, Barry Greenstein, of course. Actually been playing a lot in LA. Well, before the Rona, end up in a couple of Barry Greenstein games. It's always fun. He's got great stories. And also, Nick Schulman. I think Nick Schulman is phenomenal just in terms of a guy came in as a no-limit guy, really got into mixed games, great at tournaments, great at cash, great at commentary too, by the way. I think if he's not playing the high-stakes poker, I want him to be the color guy on high-stakes poker when it comes back to Poker Go. Billy Long. Seems like money is a motivator. Everyone is jumping ship and re-signing. We need loyalty in our locker room. Well, money for sure in cases like Waynes and Weatherly, but also, I mean, cases like Curse and Mack, I think that was just wanting to get the hell out of Dodge. Where, yeah, I'm sure the Vikings make cursory offers, but it was clear all season that J. Ron Curse didn't want to be back in. And, of course, Curse and Mack, Clemson alums go way back like chiropractic, so maybe there's part of that too. And also the way that they handled Mack's injury at the end of last season, yeah, sure, I get it. Skull Vikes. Is Spielman gearing up for a big move or just being stupid? I think they are 1,000% in on Joe Thuney. I also forgot that Thuney and Kirk Cousins have the same agent. And of course, Mike McCartney's basically been using the Vikings as a personal ATM. So even though Thuney signed his franchise tag, I don't think that precludes the Vikings trading for him at all. And also the fact that they potentially could shop Anthony Harris. Also, Doogie put out that maybe they're in on Trent Williams? Question mark? Right now. All right. W Vang 00113, $10 in the super chat. Secondary is really freaking me out. Do you see us keeping Harris now, or maybe go after a vet like Tremaine Johnson? Johnson Hill along with Hughes in the slot wouldn't be so bad. I would take Tremaine Johnson if the price is right. I mean, there could be a decent market for him out there. I think they're still on the fence about Harris because, I mean, essentially, yeah, you are swapping out cap space if you do give up Harris and then eventually get Thuney. That's fine. But also, if they're not planning to keep him long term, maybe. But Tremaine Johnson, I really liked his game when he was with the Rams when he came in from, I think he is out of Montana, I want to say. But he was really good back in the day. The Jets, of course, just squandered him because that's what happens with the Jets. But again, hey, $10 in super chat. Thank you very much, W Vang. Mason Large. What do you think the Vikings are going to do at the guard positions? Well, so Klein is out. I did come around to think that is setting the table for Drew Samia. Drew Samia is a right guard, and I think that he is going to be primed up, ready to go. Plus, you look at the draft. I mean, there are a lot of interior offensive line prospects that will be there late day 2. Like we talked about in the video, like there isn't a Chris Lindstrom in this draft. There isn't a Garrett Bradbury in this draft. There isn't a Dalton Reisner in this draft. But there is a lot of good late round 2, round 3 type guys. You look at Cesar Ruiz. You look at Tyler Biadish. You look at Jonah Jackson. You look at Nathaniel Moody. You look at Damian Lewis from LSU. So I think the Vikings will have plenty of chances to take a guard. I wouldn't rule out if they land one of the top 6 tackles, yeah, I'll put Austin Jackson in the top 6 as well. Play him at guard for a year, or vice versa, put Riley Reef at guard for a year and put the kid at left tackle. So there's going to be a lot of options there. But bottom line, I don't think that Pat Elflein will be back, starting at least. Yeah. Anthony McKinley. Arlen family, who would you want to be quarantined with? It's going to get weird. Ride the wave. Skull. Let's see here. Who do I want to be quarantined with? Well, besides, I mean, the obvious, base human desire answers. Someone who, like a military strategist, like someone who would be really good at setting up a defensive perimeter, weapons experts. Also, like Tim Kennedy. Tim Kennedy would be phenomenal. If you look him up, former Green Beret. Actually, he might still be in. Tim Kennedy or Jocko. No, we need a hunter too. Well, Jocko hunts, doesn't he? Yeah. Or yeah. Oh, so Steve Ranella. You got the hunting, camping, survival element, and then Tim Kennedy or Jocko. There you go. Perfect combination. Vince Van Hatten. Could the Vikings still draft Jalen Hurts? I think the chances of the Vikings taking a quarterback day 1, day 2 have gone down precipitously since Cousins signed that extension. I think they're all in. I think it's his team for hell or high water. Do you Z11 Zen? Do you agree that Kirk could win the MVP next year with a great offensive line? He's put up monster numbers at times, and it seems like he put up a huge season with consistent protection. Keep up the amazing work, bro. Skull from Tucson. Skull out to Arizona. I mean, it certainly is possible. You look at Cousins, except for the final half of his final year, 2017 in Washington, he always had a really good offensive line in Washington. Trent Williams, Braden Scherf, Morgan Moses, no slouch. So he always had top 5, top 3 offensive line out there. Plus, when he had Sean frickin' McVay out there, that's when he had his 2 great seasons. That's when he made the Pro Bowl. That's when he took Washington to the playoffs. So I think it is certainly conceivable because we have seen flashes. I mean, for all the faults of Kirk Cousins, and there is still a lot of them, you do have to take the sweet with the sour. I mean, you look at his October where he just lit the world on fire. And also, the way they played in the Saints game in the wild card. So I think that it wouldn't be out of the realm possibility that he could sneak his way into the MVP conversation. Although, I mean, Pat Mahomes is pretty good, and he ain't going anywhere. He's going into year 4. How ridiculous is that? T-Rag, Longtime OG Jerome. Would be worth to give up one of our first to trade for Slay or Patrick Peterson. Heard both are available for trade. Also, James Winston, potential backup quarterback. So Slay went to Philly. Again, we put this out a couple hours ago. Patrick Peterson. And Patrick Peterson is kind of like Larry Fitzgerald. Is like he's the golden goose for Vikings fans. I wouldn't give up a first for Patrick Peterson at this point unless Arizona is going to eat a significant part of that contract. Also, Jameis for a backup. As much as I don't like Mannion, I don't want Jameis either. I think Jameis is flat out terrible. I think Jameis is really bad. Honestly, it wouldn't shock me that within a year, Jameis is back in minor league baseball, just trying to be a relief pitcher somewhere, because I really question him. XX. How confident are you that the secondary performs at a competitive level next season? We may need 3 DBs if Harris leaves, and don't bring Rhodes back, please God, no. Yeah, that would be the coup de grace, wouldn't it? Bringing back Xavier Rhodes at like a league minimum deal. Just no. Well, they couldn't be worse than last year. And you know what? If it is a bunch of rookies and slappies, I mean, Zimmer's supposed to be this defensive guru, and especially a defensive backs guru. So let's see the magic. Chris, now that Mac's out of the Bengals, I'm definitely worried about our secondary. If the right players are there, would you draft 2 corners with both of our first-round picks? Probably not. Unless it's something ridiculous like Jeff Okudah is there and CJ Henderson. I don't see a ton of value in going back-to-back first-round cornerbacks unless it's them. And even like the secondary wave. I think that the really nice fat part of the cornerback room in this draft is in the second and third round. So I think there's a lot of value there. So back-to-back ones, Sam Marcos. Do you think Adam Thielen is going to have a good year with Stephon Diggs gone? Do you think there's going to be more moves in the Vikings offseason? Well, they are rumored to be in on Brashad Perriman, who had a decent rebound, like career-saving year with the Bucs last year. He was atrocious with the Ravens. But I think as constituted, I like BC Johnson. I think that he's going to have to really accelerate his growth rate in year 2. But with Thielen, I think you are going to see him a lot more on the outside. I do think you're going to see a lot more Irv Smith Jr. in the slot. And also, I think that they are going to perhaps take even 2 wide receivers in the first 4 rounds of this draft. I mean, they have the draft ammo, and this is a great wide receiver draft to do it. So I think that even though it's a little bit tenuous right now, I mean, Batman is without Batman. That's the thing about Thielen and Diggs. They're both Batman, right? So it's a little bit scary right now, but I think it'll work itself out. Jacob McCullough, a perfect draft scenario. So 5 picks in the top 105 right now. They come away with one of the top 6 offensive linemen. They grab a cornerback in the second round. They come away with one of the top 3 safeties. And also they double dip at a wide receiver. Wait, no. All right, so they take a wide receiver first or second round, and then also they double dip O-line. They take another guard early on, and then take a wide receiver later on. There you go. Dylan Tobin. Low-key free agent that helped the Vikings wide receiver. I think Demarcus Robinson from the Chiefs. Maybe a bigger role, have more production. Thoughts? Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't signed anywhere yet. I like Robinson for what he did in a limited role with the Chiefs. If the price is right, sure. Although this is very stupid, but his name is too close to Marcus Robinson, and that did not work out when that Jabroni signed from the Bears. Tyler Brush. Between all the holes in our 53 roster and 13 draft picks we currently have, how many positions do you expect to fill straight from the draft to start in lab? Any key roles players to? All right, so how many rookie stars do you expect? I'll put the over-under at 5.5, right? So you think maybe one of the wide receivers, probably a guard, maybe a D tackle, cornerback, maybe a safety. Actually, I should put a 4.5. Over under 4.5. There you go. Ethan Griffith. Pick one combo: Okudah and Josh Jones, or Wills and Delpit. Okudah and Josh Jones, like no question. Okudah for me, head and shoulders, cornerback 1 in this draft. Josh Jones has a lot of great potential. I like his athletic upside in terms of him at left tackle. I think that he did really good things last year in Houston with Dana Holgerson and the new staff. He really reminds me of Andre Dillard last year, where you're just betting on that insane athletic upside. Wills and Delpit. I like Wills. I think that his ceiling is a little bit capped because I think he is going to be what he is at that point, as well as Delpit. I think he's a very solid starting safety. I mean, for me, I would put Delpit slightly above McKinney and slightly above Winfield Jr., but also you're splitting hairs at that point. But yeah, just in terms of number one corner and a guy with insane upside, I'll take Jones and Okudah. Do you think the Vikings would draft Antoine Winfield Jr. or Tyler Johnson? I mean, they certainly could be in the mix, and not just because they're Gophers, not because they're local, not because Winfield Jr. is here, not because Tyler Johnson went to Minneapolis North, because they're good, really good football players, and that's what should matter the most. Luke Becker, thoughts on a third down D-line consisting of Barr, Odenigbo, rookie 3-tech, and Hunter? Yeah. Shit, yeah, let's go. Tyler Brush, question regarding draft strategies. Would it be more beneficial to trade an early second-round pick for a mid-second round and a third, fourth? Sure, you may get a less valuable player, but you'd have two of them. This is a bit of the Pizza Ranch conundrum. It's like, the pizza's not that great, but there's a lot of it. In terms of if your board is stacked up, where say there's a strata of 10 to 12 players when you pick at the top of the second round, like say, just for example, the Vikings do get number 41 from the Browns for Anthony Harris. So you're sitting at the top of the second round. I believe that's 9th pick overall. And you have the opportunity to move back to, say, I don't know, 20. And then you add a third or fourth rounder. I mean, if there's like 10 to 12 names that are really at positions of need that are relatively close in value, that you wouldn't mind grabbing either of them, I think it's a slam dunk trade back. But if you're stuck with, like, there's one clear name that you really want and need that's head and shoulders above the rest and is not going to be there when you pick again, then just stand pat. Take BPA. Tyler Brush, will you do a live bet during the draft or just post videos at the end of each round/day? I haven't really decided yet. What we did last year with the draft is that we put out bios of each player that the Vikings took. Seemed to be pretty popular. Maybe first night we'll do a live stream. I mean, that makes some sense. Roselle Chavis. Hopefully Vikings take a look at Geno Stone out of Iowa. Will be a great replacement at safety. Bob Sanders. Nah, just kidding. Max Kallenberg student. Any idea how much cap we have left? Think it might be enough to get Mack or Everson back. Again, this is early in the day. Overall grade on this offseason. I would give this offseason an A- so far. I know it's controversial. Like, PFF hates the Vikings offseason. Like, they absolutely despise it. But I think that sometimes just like a cleansing forest fire, just clearing out a whole bunch of brush can be beneficial. I mean, yeah, it's very horrific and tough as you're going through it, but it could be a benefit. As far as cap space to have left after the Bailey deal, I don't know, 7. Ethan Griffith, is getting Tyler Johnson late 4th or early 5th better value than a T. Higgins at 22 overall? Why not both? I think you can get both. Michael Baez. How many of these do we have left? Michael Baez. Brown signed a safety for 1 year, so does it mean Browns are no longer interested in trading for Harris now, or they're taking chances on value? I think it's a leverage play because they signed Carl Joseph, the former Raider, former West Virginia Mountaineer. He's from West Virginia, right? And I don't think that necessarily means that they're set at safety. I think Anthony Harris is a far superior player to Carl Joseph, as well as Carl Joseph is more of a strong safety. Of course, Anthony Harris is a free safety, so it's Scott Swenson. I think it's clear that it's likely both Zim and Rick have some jobs here. I wouldn't call this a rebuild, but it is a reload. Team needs to have a very good draft this year, but I'm wondering, do they let the first 2 rounds come? I think at this point, I mean, it would almost behoove the Vikings just to sit back and let the board come to them. Because, I mean, it's a very talent-rich draft, especially at positions need, offensive tackle, wide receiver, cornerback. So I think they're in prime position to really let the board fall to them and perhaps maybe move back a couple times. Like, honestly, if there's still a bunch of names on the board that they like, they're fine with moving back a couple spots, picking up some extra draft picks. I wouldn't be mad if they did that. And I mean, the Cousins extension is the monkey wrench because right now they have all the draft ammo in the world. If they really want to move up, like say Tua was their guy, or hell, even say Joe Burrow was their guy, now would be the time to do it. Except, I mean, you signed Cousins to that extension, so it's Sean Johnson re-signed Diamond Dan Bailey. What are your thoughts? Oh, Diamond Dan Bailey from the Diamond Exchange. I think it's smart. I think Dan Bailey thankfully got his head out of his ass last year. Fortunately, it was right after the Vikings just completely torched that 5th-round pick on Corey Vedvik. But yeah, 3-year deal. I'm sure it's really more of a 1-year deal once the numbers comes out. But he earned it. He deserves it. Let's go. Tyler Brush. Do you expect Captain Kirk to flourish now that he will stay with the team for more than 2 years, or was October 2019 the peak of his career? I expect him to build because I think the Vikings are finally going to get the offensive line right. And even though he's going to be down Stephon Diggs, I think they're going to surround him with a lot of weapons offensively. I think they are going to start shifting a lot of capital from the defensive side of the ball to the offense, because this is no longer Mike Zimmer's team. This is Kirk Cousins' team. Let's not get it twisted. And I'm not saying that because I'm happy about it, but it is what it is. Mike Yang, what's your favorite place to go eat Korean barbecue at Minnesota, and why? I haven't really found a Korean barbecue spot that I'm ready to like give an endorsement for yet around the Twin Cities. I'm working on it. Like I want to find a great Korean barbecue spot, or a dim sum place. But also, I mean, in LA, we went to this Chinese barbecue place where it was basically like steamed and boiled fish and these great Szechuan sauces, as well as kebabs. And it was freaking amazing. And they're open till like 4 a.m. And they're in a part of town where it is legit Chinatown. We're not talking about like downtown Man's Chinese Theater. Like, we're talking about, there is not a sign that is in English anywhere, including the street signs, by the way. And I forget what it was called, but I'll never forget it. Rob Banta, observation. First few seasons, Zimmer ran the double A gap look, and a lot of teams couldn't counter it. Def was lights out. Last few seasons, hardly ever see a look. Why? Because Baron Kendricks. I think a lot of teams countered with it, and so now it's time for Zimmer to counter back. Ethan Griffith, how do you make customizations on your FanSpeak drafts? AK, start drafting with 41 overall pick for Harris. Can't figure it out there. So I sent a future first round pick for number 41. That's how it is. Tyler Brush again. What is the key component restricting the Vikings from being a Super Bowl winning team? History. I'm just kidding. How do we restrict move that factor? I think it is. I think it really is Cousins. I think it's Cousins. I think it's the O-line. I mean, you see in the last couple of years, you don't need a lights out shutdown defense. You need a very opportunistic defense, but you do need an offense, and especially a quarterback who can put up points in a hurry if you need to. I think Cousins could become that guy. Sure. Scolder Soup. Would you say we're in rebuilding territory yet? Also, with Kirk needing protection to be effective at all, would you say offensive line is more important than wide receiver? No one rebuild. It's definitely a reload, and yes to offensive lineman over wide receiver. Travis, do you think the D-line starters will consist of Griffin, Odenigbo, Pierce, and Hunter? If Griffin doesn't come back, who do you want to replace him realistically? I think that could be it. But if Everson doesn't come back, Afadi will start on the left defensive end spot. Hunter will swing over to the right DN side. Pierce is going to be your two-down nose tackle. And then Armand for Watts. Come on. 3-tech. Or Justin Blacklock or Neville Gallimore in the draft. Don't really know. Amaya Deshpande. I apologize, man. I butchered this name every single time it comes up, but you're a long-time OG. Jerome, thank you very much for contributing. I've been sick the last couple weeks, but I'm pretty sure it's just allergies. Is it worth getting checked? Don't really want to go out doctor's office during these times. Actually, so my kid just had like a 6-month checkup for like shots. By the way, get your kids vaccinated. Ooh, controversial. Actually, it's not controversial though. And it is dead. It's completely dead because if you're just going to a clinic, they're sending all potential corona victims to like a very specific, like there's one designated hospital in here. It might be different where you are, but like a lot of people I think are scared off. So if they got like aches and pains, or if they got like nicks and bruises and stuff, like they're not going to the doctor like they usually would because everyone's scared. So it's actually kind of dead. So it's actually kind of nice. And also, of course, hospitals and clinics are taking great measures to be sanitary and all that stuff. So now actually may be the best time to go. Johnny Yang Fitness. Thoughts on Gophers Kamal Martin and Rodney Smith? Do they have a limited chance of getting drafted? I don't know about Martin. I think Smith may go in like the 7th round. It's potential. But also, I mean, Rodney's a bit of a plotter, right? I don't know. There's a lot of David Cobb to his game. I don't know. Jaden Buchanan. What are the chances of Anthony Harris still getting traded? I'd say 50%. Either happens or it doesn't. Money waste. Do you think now that Mac has gone too, we might draft 2 cornerbacks in the 1st round? Probably not. I could see two cornerbacks in the first 2 days, though. Whether it be the 5, 6 picks, whatever. John Reich. Any news on Everson Griffin? Nope. Actually, I should probably check because news happens so fast. Any news? Oh, Sean Payton tested positive for coronavirus. I mean, there's no joke to be made there, because even though he's a douchebag, he doesn't deserve coronavirus. You know, I'm sure you guys are having a field day on it. Checking the live stream, live chat. Casey James, Kirk Cousins like Phillip Rivers, all stats, but hasn't done poop. Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer, man. That is a disservice to Phillip Rivers. Of the 2004 draft, I will take Phillip Rivers, Patrick Ramsey, J.P. Lossman, Big Ben, and then Eli. In that order. Send it. Send it in, Jerome. Nick Seipel, in your opinion, what are the Vikings' two biggest positions need? Keep up the great content. I would say offensive guard / tackle, since I think there's going to be flexibility what happens with Reef, and then cornerback. Yeah, and then wide receiver. Riley Coyote, what are your thoughts on Mick Robertson if he was taller? You think he'd be in discussion of top 5 corners this year's draft? Do you think he'd be a good replacement in the slot if you can't re-sign Alexander? I haven't done a ton of homework on Robertson, but I'll definitely look up that name, get into it a little bit, and we'll go from there. I'll have a better answer later. Tyler Brush, do the Buccaneers have any chance against their current lineup, even with Brady? Yeah, I think they do have a chance. I think the NFC South is going to be wide open, but also we know who's going to win. Hey, Teddy. That's right. Brandon Shorstrand. Is this season Super Bowl or bust for Zim? Yes, absolutely. Christian Lipinski made a mock draft today, and Simmons and Kinlaw fell to 22 and 25. Shit. I drafted both of them, even though I know guys on Team BPA given the current situation. Greens from Frankfurt, Germany. Guten Tag out there, Christian. I will say, if Kinlaw gets anywhere near where the Vikings draft, all in, absolutely all in. Simmons is pretty sexy too. I mean, how does that happen? How? Miles Burning, but I mean, again, lots of people get very snobbish in the draft. Like 0% chance that guy falls there. There's a lot of weird things that happen in the draft, and there's only, if the Vikings pick at 22. Only 21 names can go before them, not 40, like people seem to think. Also, no one thought that Chris Lindstrom was going to be a first-round pick last year. No one thought that Jawan Taylor, no way Jawan Taylor falls out of the first round. Well, look, it happened. No way Cody Ford falls out of the first round. Well, it happened. Like, shit gets weird on draft night. So that's my appeal to like everyone who gets into the draft and is a fan of the draft like I am. Like, don't talk in absolutes, because you sound like an absolute moron. Like you notice that the people who really get into it, whether it be the scouts like Lance Zierlein, whether it be Daniel Jeremiah, whether it be Bucky Brooks, whether it be the great dudes over at the Draft Network, like they never talk in absolutes. Like they talk like, do the research. Here's our findings. Blah blah blah. They're never like 0% chance this guy gets out of the first round. Miles Burning. Actually, you find that the more smugness and obstinateness when people come to the draft, the less they know. Actually, that comes with a lot of things in life. The more you know. Miles Burning. How high could the Vikings trade up in the first round if they were to trade up? They could get up to number 1 if they want to. If they want to package their second rounder, 22, 25, and maybe some change, they could get up to number 1 if they really want to. Like, the Cousins extension really muddies up the waters. Yeah. Gobble 92. Blacklock or Gallimore. I like them both, but I would go Gallimore. Josh Jones or Austin Jackson. I go Josh Jones. Jeff Gladney or Christian Fulton. I go Gladney. There you go. There's more. Skull. Thank you. Ryan O'Sullivan. Do you think we're still leaders to get Everson? I think so. But again, the price has got to be right. And could he very well be the last significant free agent we signed? Yeah, absolutely. I think the Vikings are basically going to be standing pat now. I mean, just getting out here with some decent compensatory picks. Last I saw, it was like a 3rd and a 6th, maybe an extra 7th. Who really knows? Dylan Tobin. I think there's a chance we bring back Rhodes for cheap with all his cornerback leaving. God, I hope not. Julian Marker. How can the Vikings trade to get CD Lamb? Well, if they get up in the teens, I would keep an eye out, potentially like the Niners at 13. Yeah, that draft pick that they got from the Colts for DeForest Buckner. Because, I mean, CD Lamb in that offense. CD with Debo. CD and Debo. That's sexy. Like, he's definitely an upgrade over Emmanuel Sanders last year. And I think Manny Sanders was really great for them last year as well. Did Emmanuel Sanders sign with Dallas? SMU product heading back to Dallas? Torrey Hansen. You think it's time for Juice Me to step up and take over Klein's spot? Yeah. Bryce Bernhardt. If the Mighty Ducks and the Vikings, then the evil team from Iceland are the... Oh, the Mighty Ducks are the Vikings, and the evil team from Iceland are the... I don't know, I guess the Bears. Man, our video where I was making fun of the Bears trading for Nick Foles and giving up on Trubisky, like so many salty Bears fans, like, well, yeah, dear, you haven't beat the Bears since 2017, so go Bears. Who cares? Max Callenberg. What moves would you predict we do up into... actually, no. If the Vikings are the Mighty Ducks, Iceland is Kirk Cousins' contract. There you go. What moves would you predict we do up till the draft? None. Tyler Brush. How best do you stay busy during quarantine? Eat a lot, work out a lot, do a lot of content, do a lot of these jabroni live streams. It's a lot of fun. Dylan Knowles, monthly Jerome Dylan Knowles. You can join Dylan, get yourself a nice little purple check mark. Click that join box down below. $5 a month. That's all we ask. Think Everson Griffin will be back? Maybe. Is Avadio Denaba ready to be the guy? Yes, absolutely. Robert Griffin. What the hell are the Vikings doing with the offensive line? Drew Samia and draft. And trade for Joe Thuney. I keep checking the Twitter machine. It's like, can we just see a trade for Joe Thuney one time? Also, yeah, I'm not saying that it'd be cool if you guys made Sean Payton coronavirus jokes in the chat, but I'm also not saying it, if you know. All right, so here we go. Tyler Brush, preference between a 3-4 and a 4-3-D. I think that bringing in Michael Pierce, who is, he's a straight up 3-4 nose tackle, but he'll do fine in the 4-3. And also the presence of Dom Capers. Plus you got Anthony Barrs. Like, hey, how can you find out how to have him live up to his contract more? Like, how do we do that? Man, just having some 3-4 elements. Is the chat working? Unable to connect to chat. Please try again later. What the hell? Saying that's fun without the chat. Eric Weezer. Do you think there will be a 2020 NFL season? Yes. Oakview. Should we trade Anthony Harris? Yes. Jacob Worley. How much cap space do we have left? Not a lot. Cyberbully123. Spielman made a huge mistake extending Kirk. He's trying to rebuild, remembering the whole house down. Well, when you rebuild a house, it's a lot cheaper to have it be a rebuild. So you have to leave one wall, and then it counts as a rebuild as opposed to a brand new build. So, actually, can I refresh this? Let's try that. Oh, this might be bad. I've never been good with technology and stuff. Oh, there we go. Hey, there we go. The chat's working now. All right, great. So I guess that was my end. That's my bad. Ernest Irius Pilot Gaming 09. How much do you think the Vikings will pay Dalvin Cook? They're really in on Dalvin Cook. Zimmer loves Dalvin. Sealand loves Dalvin. They're going to be a run first offense. I think they're wary about looking at like David Johnson and Todd Gurley and Melvin Gordon's situations. I think if they can get him. Also, any extension that he signs with the signing bonus is going to impact the 2020 cap negatively. So if they can get him for like a 2-year, $14 million extension, I'd be okay with it. Like $7 million per 2 years. Won't be the end of the world. Have it really be front loaded into 2021 so the Vikings can get out of it pretty easily. I would take that. Laundry's done. Ben Bauman, if you had to quarantine yourself and could only have one kind of food and have one kind of drink for 1 month, what would they be? Also, do you think a slim down Pat Elflein could play corner? Food, give me a ribeye, and drink, I don't know, I guess it'd be water. Yeah, it'd be weird to say anything else. But if water is already off the table, then coffee. Yeah, black coffee. Marcus Hudgens. Oh, no, that was the Rona. It freaks me out. Every time we have like a little cough, that's just like a dry cough. It's like, oh, Elizabeth, I'm coming. It's the big one. Yeah. Marcus Hudgens. As a logical person, can you agree that the Diggs haters are just ignorable as Zig loyals? Yeah, to a degree. But also, I consider myself in the middle. Like, I really love Stephon Diggs. But also I can call a spade. Like the way that he was acting, he clearly wanted out of town, and I don't think he handled it the right way. But yeah, there's people who just absolutely despise Diggs. Laundry's done. As well as people who will be with him no matter what. And yeah, it's not Jerome Shalom, For Loco, and Pho. Number 2. Why is this team built so much player loyalty around fans around Cousins? The fan basically calling the shots. I don't know. That's what they're doing. Number 3, would you have taken Jimmy G over Cousins? No. Like I think the Niners won the Super Bowl last year if they had Cousins instead of Jimmy G. I really do. Dylan Tobin, do you think the Vikings are having trouble finding a trade partner for Harris? Browns were interested, but they just sent Carl Jones. Yes, I don't know. Perhaps, but also I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility that the Vikings, since Harris hasn't signed the tag yet, if they just rescind it, they just pull the tag, get that $11.44 million in cap space back, and then they're like, okay, fine, you're gonna sign somewhere. We'll just take the 2021 compensatory pick. Johnny Green, do you think we should go after Robbie Anderson? No, I think he's gonna be too expensive. I do think he's gonna get 13, 14 million bucks a year. Plus, I do think health-wise, there's some concerns, as well as he's a one-trick pony, but it's a hell of a trick. I mean, he is a great deep threat. It's pretty amazing. Eric Normal, I think we should go to big play Slay. Nope. What is the deal? Think Harris is off the team? I think they do get a trade done. Ethan Griffith again. How in the hell do we not put up $4 million to hold on to best cornerback? Honestly, Rick and Bears. I agree. Roger Revolver Regret. Is it possible Holton Hill and Chris Boyd are just further along the way all thought, and Zim is ready to roll down outside pending a quarterback pickup in the draft? Thoughts? Holton Hill, sure, but also he's grandfathered in on the old CBA weed rules, and Chris Boyd, Miles Pearson, Joe Thuney or Trent Williams? Joe Thuney, he's younger. Would you rather have, and why? He's younger. Possibly could be cheaper too. Ethan Griffith. Plus, this isn't a great guard class. This is a great tackle class. So if you can get a young tackle in, Joe Thuney at guard, I would prefer that combination over Trent Williams and then like a young mid-round guard. Ethan Griffith again. Why not get Danny Shelton? I don't know. Huss Gamer. Why not sign Mac? I don't know. Is T. Higgins just a product of Trevor Lawrence? No. I mean, Higgins had a great true freshman year with Keller Bryant as well. But, yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence having a great quarterback certainly is part of it. But ostensibly, you would have a great quarterback to throw to T. Higgins. Diego Garza. What do you think is mock draft? Oh, man. Delpit Ruiz, cool. Matt Parrott, love. Taylor Johnson, yeah. AJ Green at this point, absolutely. And Jake Luton, sure. Man. Cyberbully, Dancer, shoot. And Cyberbully, 1, 2, 3. What do you think about Zimmer? Has these unknown grudge against players, not giving them the time of day? Is it because he doesn't want to draft? I don't know. But you've seen that Zimmer does hold like weird grudges. Like he plays favorites for sure. I don't know. David Bryan, do you think Michael Pierce would be better than Linval or create more pressure like Sheldon Richardson did? Pierce, any sort of pass rush they get at him is going to be an absolute bonus. I think his career high in sacks is 2. That's when he was a rotational player as a rookie in 2016, I believe. So, no, I think Linval overall is a better pass rusher, but also that's not what they're paying Pierce to do. All right. It is collaborative mock draft time. I'm good at English. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to run the simulation, and actually, I'm going to put in 41 just because I can. Just because I can. David goddamn Putney. There we go. All right, so we got 41 for Anthony Harris, too, just for schnitz. So here's what we're going to do. Every single pick, we're going to give the option of 2 to 3 players, and they'll say put in 1s in the chat, put in 2s in the chat for player. You'll figure it out. Let's go. So I'm not really looking to trade up either. I'm just chilling. Chilling like a villain. Motherfucker. Oh. And just looking at the Twitter machine again. It is a little annoying when like PFT or Albert Breer, like football, then just veer off into politics and just like, this time more than ever, like I fully understand there are more important things than football, but I mean, people come to the sports department, the toy department as an escape, as release. That's why here we like to stay as apolitical as we possibly can, because we respect your guys' time, because we know that you're not coming here to, get my thoughts on the presidency or elections or coronavirus or the funnier parts of coronavirus, or was this due to the stock market, all that stuff. So we try to respect that. So we're talking football. Anyways, back to football, not pitching anymore. So let's recap the first round. Actually, I've been bitching a lot this week. It's kind of weird. All right, so Burrow 1, Chase Young 2, Washington, Jeff Okudah. Ooh, Lions, nice. Derek Brown goes to the Giants. I like that. Tua to the Dolphins. Jedrick Wills, Chargers. Kinlaw 7 to the Panthers, baby. It's annoying. Jerry Jeudy, the Cardinals. I don't think Arizona takes a wide receiver here. Yeah. CeeDee Lamb, Jaguars. Wirfs to the Browns. That's a hell of a pickup. Although, where are you going to play him? Unless you plan on moving Conklin to left tackle, which could be possible. Henry Ruggs III, ostensibly replacing Robbie Anderson. C.J. Henderson, second quarterback off the board, goes to the Raiders. This ain't a movie. There is no Mekhi Becton, goes to the Niners. Joe Staley, understudy. Sure. Play him on the right side. Sure. Andrew Thomas goes to the Bucks. A little bit of help for Tom Brady. Josh Jones, damn it. Was it stupid Broncos? I still haven't figured out how to pronounce this name. I should probably do it. Clavon Chase on LSU, going to the Falcons. They obviously need a lot of edge help. I can't believe they gave up on Vic Beasley so easily, but what can you do? Diggs goes to the Cowboys. Simmons, the do-it-all, linebacker, cornerback, safety, whatever, goes to the Dolphins. Justin Jefferson, another wide receiver off the board, goes to the Raiders. Justin Herbert falls all the way to 20 to the Jaguars. Patrick Queen, great linebacker, goes to the Eagles. So let's look at the board. All right, so got the Penn State edge. Got T. Higgins there chilling. Austin Jackson as well. The tackle has been sort of picked over, so that's obviously starting to become a pressing need. Perfectly fine to Austin Jackson. We talked about it was originally a big 5. I'll put Austin Jackson in there as a big 6. I do like him. Gladney is there. Okay. So options. Man. All right, so put 1 in the chat if you want Austin Jackson. Put 2 in the chat if you want T. Higgins. Or put 3 in the chat if you want Jeff Gladney. All right, so 22. So again, 1 Austin Jackson, 2 T. Higgins, 3 Jeff Gladney. Man, safety-wide. Everyone's there for safety too. Shoot. I'll let that marinate there for a sec. Taj Rich asks, I think we should get Clay Matthews. No. Crap, now I got to remember the numbers. It was Austin Jackson 1, T. Higgins 2, right? 3 Jeff Gladney. And also, this is sort of moot since you have another pick coming up. All right, votes coming in. Whoever's smart ass to put 4 in there, hate you. All right, so overall, seeing a lot of 1s in there. I'm going to go with 1. So we're going to go Austin Jackson, welcome in. And now, I don't want, last time we took a USC tackle. Get the hell out of here. All right, so next 2 picks goes wide receiver, a little bit annoying. T. Higgins goes to the Patriots. Denzel Mims goes to the Saints. So let's look at the wide receiver room. Chenault is still there. Jalen Reagor is still there. Then you can sort of wait. You got Pittman, you got Claypool, you got Edwards, you got Ayuk from Arizona State as well. And then all the way down, you got Tyler Johnson. There you go. Cornerback-wise, Gladney is still there. A.J. Terrell wouldn't mind. Bryce Hall, I really like him as well. Dancer from Mississippi State. I really like Jalen Johnson as well. I have him a lot higher than a couple of these other guys, but looking at the board. All right. I mean, a lot of options here. Actually, let's vote on position this time around. So got tackle. Vote 1 for wide receiver. So we have Chenault, Reagor, whatever. Vote 2 for cornerback. Vote 3 for safety. Because there's a lot of arguments that can be made either there. All right, so wide receiver 1, cornerback 2, safety 3. Hey, dirty. Baby, I got your money, don't you worry. I said, hey. All right, here comes the votes. A lot of 2s. couple of ones. It's going to be waiting on wide receiver. All right, a lot of twos, a couple threes. I wish there was some way to tabulate this besides me just looking at the numbers. Like, this is like the Matrix. I'm going to let this run here for a sec. Yeah, or do we just go completely off the board and take Jordan Love? All right, so it looks like cornerbacks have it. All right, so we're going to look in the cornerback room. Yeah, I guess Gladney is going to be the guy. Although I wouldn't be mad with Bryce Hall. Although at 25, that seems a little bit high. So Gladney, come on down. Your next contestant. Although, man. We should have had fun and just taken Jordan Love. I mean, there's still time, right? All right, so right now, Jordan Love is still on board. The top three safeties are still there. Vikings got a tackle and a cornerback. Haven't addressed wide receiver yet. I think at this point, I'm fine waiting on wide receiver. Again, super deep wide receiver draft, but AGG is still there. DPJ, Tyler Johnson, KJ Hill is freaking there. Michael Pittman Jr., Jalen Reagor. This is a great year for TCU, by the way, in the draft. So there you go. All right, so we're gonna start the round. Jordan Love goes at the top of the second round to the Colts. That's a great pickup. There goes Gallimore. All right, looking at the big board. All right, so top three safeties are still there, chilling. Let's see here. Quarterback-wise, Easton Fromm, whatever. D-line, Blacklock is there. Elliott, Roquan Davis, who wouldn't mind grabbing him in the third. Edge guys, yeah. Again, this isn't a very good edge class at all. James Lynch from Baylor, I do like that he can play inside, outside. He's got a little bit of John Randall to him. Sure. All right, so what we're going to do. I think I'm going to go safety here. Yeah. All right, so very important vote here. Safety. We're taking a safety. Vote 1 for Xavier McKinney, 2 for Winfield, 3 for Grant Delpit. Let's go. And now we wait. All right, here we go. 2 2 2 2 2 1 1 1 3 3 3. All right. Looking like it's overwhelmingly number 2. So I'm going to take Antoine Winfield Jr. Let it run for a little bit. Ooh, Delpit's making a comeback. I really like Grant Delpit. I really do. Nah. All right. So Winfield Jr. is going to be the selection. Welcome. You are the next contestant on the Who Wants to Be a Minnesota Viking. So right away, Austin Jackson, Jeff Gladney, and Antoine Winfield, who can play safety, can play in the slot, can play outside cornerback as well, can do a lot of things as well as, I mean, we love hashtag one of us stories, right? So the fact that he's a gopher, the fact that he's Winfield Senior's kid, I mean, people just like that. All right, so look at the big board. Still needs. Look at wide receiver. So Devaney's still there. KJ Hill, and again, wide receiver. We can wait for a hot second here. We can do that. So into the third round, I think that's where we're going to be looking at wide receiver a little bit more. In terms of edge guys, Greenard is still there. Okay. Ooh, Jonathan Taylor Thomas. No, just kidding. Or do you start doubling down on interior offensive line at this point? Because Ezra Cleveland, who played tackle at Boise State, could project to be inside. I really like him. So definitely keep that name in the mix. But also just look at these names. Lewis, Sternberg, Jackson, Nathani Moody, John Runyon Jr., Solomon Kinley still there, Biadish, Cesar Ruiz. I mean, this is a very solid interior offensive line draft. So want to come away with the interior offensive lineman. Want to come away with a decent piece on the defensive line. All right. I'm going to Put in 1 for Ezra Cleveland. Put in 2 for Roquan Davis. All right, so 1 or 2. There we go. Ding, 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 ding. All right, votes are coming in. Initially, there's a lot of 2s, but now there's a lot of 1s coming in. Oh, here comes the 2s back again. Man, this is really close. All right, we're going to call it. Looks like it's really close, but I think the 1's got it. So Ezra Cleveland, come on down. Next contestant, Minnesota Vikings. So the Vikings just really going after the interior offensive line as well as getting Austin Jackson. I'm really liking that. As well as, I mean, Cleveland could also factor in playing tackle as well. So frankly, if Jackson doesn't work out as a long-term left tackle, maybe you kick Ezra Cleveland out there. Hey, baby. All right, so third round. Still haven't gotten to wide receiver, but not too worried about that. Defensive line, I mean, Davis still there. Lawrence, Roquan Williams from Michigan State still sitting there chilling. Benito Jones from Ole Miss, like him there. James Lynch is still there. I really want to make a move for James Lynch, as well as Anthony Jennings from Bama's there. John Garvin from the U. All right, so Vikings are up. Looking at the wide receiver room. I mean, KJ Hill is there. DPJ. Gandy Golden, the physical freak, small school dude from Liberty. Tyler Johnson's obviously still there. All right, so we're going to put out wide receiver or edge rusher. No, put in 1 for wide receiver, put in 2 for edge rusher. Let's go. Nick Coe for show. Yeah, 1 for wide receiver, 2 for edge rusher. Yeah, looking like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right. Take a look a little bit more. Yeah, 2's coming back. All right. Pretty clearly going to be the 1. So now, the question is, how do you roll here? Now, this is the downside of draft deck because you can see, I mean, Tyler Johnson will probably be there in the 4th or 5th, maybe even 5th round, which is fine. I really like KJ Hill. Is it too basic, though? I mean, should I just go Gandy Golden? Should I just bet on the physical upside guy? You know, screw it. We're here for fun. Bring on the physical upside guy. We'll get Tyler Johnson later. There you go. All right. Now I want some edge help. I want some edge help before it actually just all goes away. Oh, AJ Green is still there? Ooh, Lambert Hill. Okay. Man. Overall, this is just a phenomenal. I mean, look at the interior offensive line talent that's still there at the back end of the 3rd round. Ruiz, Lewis, Sternberg. I mean, it's really, really good. Willie Gay Jr. still there? Shoot. All right, so we're going to get some edge help. All right, so now we're going to pick between the 3. All right, so clear the palette. Here we go. I'll put in 1 for Nick Coe, 2 for James Lynch, 3 for Anthony Jennings. We're going to get some edge help in the 3rd round, the Daniel Hunter round. So again, 1 for Nick Coe from Auburn, 2 for James Lynch, 3 for Anthony Jennings from Alabama. I kind of want Anthony just so I can call him Penny. Nah. And here comes the votes. 222231211222222. All right, let's let this roll for a sec. Threes, a lot of ones. Well, you can't keep voting, man. I see that. All right, let it go for a little bit longer. All right, looks like it's pretty clearly James Lynch from Baylor. Come on down. Now, he can play the edge, he can play interior as well. He's like a normal-sized Hercules Mataafa, I guess, in that respect. But I do like him just in terms of getting some extra disruption there in the defensive line. You're good to go. All right, so if you're just tuning in, we're doing a cooperative 7-round Vikings mock draft. So we're putting out a couple names, letting the group chat vote on it. And it's great. We're having a lot of fun. So far, Vikings get their left tackle of the future, Austin Jackson. Also pick up TCU cornerback Jeff Gladney. I think he's going to come in and be a starter from day one. Antoine Winfield, top of the second round, where we traded Anthony Harris to Cleveland. So he basically comes in and replaces Harris 1-for-1. We're not trading. Then also, second round, we double down offensive line and get Ezra Cleveland from Boise State. Now, Cleveland, come in, put him at left guard. I think he'd be good to go there. But also, he does have some tackle flexibility. I think he could potentially play left tackle in the NFL. So Austin Jackson doesn't work out. Hey, Ezra, better than Ezra. And then wide receiver, third round. So I just decided to go with the physical freak, the small school upside guy, Antonio Gandy Golden, as well as we picked up, listen to his edge, more defensive lineman, James Lynch. Bring it on. So needs still wide receiver, quarterback. Sure, we'll take one later. All right, let's see who's on the big board now. So Geno Stone from Iowa, pretty solid safety still there. Anthony Jennings is still on board, much more of a true edge guy. Let's see here. Benjamin, and we don't really need a running back anytime soon. Rashard Lawrence is still on board. Man, it's a really great board. Tyler Johnson didn't make it. Ow, it hurts. It hurts. We're still definitely going to be doubling down on wide receiver at some point, though. And linebackers, okay. AJ Green's still there. Lavert Hill is still there. Okay. I like Antoine Brooks Jr. Like, you see me on here a lot. I'm a big fan of his. But also, I think Geno Stone is an overall better player and much more well-rounded. Just take a quick look at the offensive line. Oh, Thaddeus Moss is still there. Okay, I'll put it out to the people. Number 1 for Thaddeus Moss. Number 2 for a safety. Actually, no. Here we go. Number 1, Thaddeus Moss. 2 safety. 3 cornerback. Let's roll. This is a really fun part of the videos. As we're just waiting for the delay to catch up so the votes can come in. A lot of people saying Lavert Hill. I like Lavert Hill. I really do. Also, what's to do with that Michigan team? I mean, they have a lot of freaking talent and nothing to show for it. But I guess that's on par for Jim Harbaugh. All right, so seeing a lot of threes. I forgot why I listed as 3. Was it cornerback 3? Because it was 1 Thaddeus Moss, 2 safety, 3 cornerback. Was that it? Can someone confirm in the chat to me that I said cornerback is number 3? Because threes are going to win. Just looking for confirmation because I'm pretty sure I said cornerback is 3, right? Because otherwise, safety, I mean, we'll take Geno Stone or Antoine Brooks. Be a flip. All right, so yes, 3 was cornerback. Yeah, 3 was cornerback. Okay, so we're gonna go cornerback. So that's a toss up here now. I may just take Lavert Hill. I like him. I do like AJ Green from Oklahoma State as well. I feel like Lavert is a bit of the safer pick at this point. And the Vikings, they've already added 2 pieces to the cornerback room. I'm just gonna go for it. Yeah, I'm gonna take Lavert Hill. There you go. Thank you for voting. You guys are awesome. As well as that was a test to see how homerish you are. Thaddeus Moss or a cornerback. Thaddeus Moss got slaughtered, man. Yeah, but it is what it is. All right, on to 5th round. Vikings still have, we still have like 9,000 picks left. All right, we're going to vote through the 6th round, and then I'm just going to pick funny names in the 7th. Or maybe I'll just pick 3 quarterbacks because I don't care. All right, so still looking to double back at wide receiver. Ooh, Juwan Jennings. Tyree Cleveland. Okay. All right, so back on board. Look at the big board. So the Kansas kid is still there. Zach Moss, a running back from Utah. Interesting. Salomon Kinley, who I really like, although I feel like his draft stock is taking a bit of a shot in the pooper. Oh, Thaddeus Moss is still there. All right, I'm going to remember the positions this time. All right, so give me 1 for tight end. Give me 2 for running back. Give me 3 for offensive line. I should probably write that down. Because if it's tight end, then I think it will be Thaddeus Moss. If it's running back, I mean, Zach Moss is just sitting there chilling, just looking back at us. And if we do go offensive line, I mean, there's lots of ways you can go here. I think it's too early for Trey Adams. Just throwing that dartboard out there. I mean, Kinley, I guess Kinley would be the pick. Yeah, but I remember this time. All right, so 3s. Pick up a lot of 3s. All right, so here come the 2s. A couple 1s. All right. It's clearly going to go 3. So 3 going offensive line. So dealer's choice here. I mean, I like the Kansas kid upside. Charlie Heck is still there too. But I feel like with Jackson and Cleveland, you have 2 potential tackle prospects, which I think is plenty. And I think Kinley at this stage of the game, just a really solid power guard. I'm in. I'm absolutely in. All right, so Salomon Kinley, welcome. And now you can't say that Spielman ignores the offensive line. And this isn't even factoring in, like, maybe they trade for Joe Thuney, which I'm checking back on the Twitter machine. And maybe they trade for Joe Thuney yet. No, not yet. All right. Next round, here we go. What do you know? Dynamo. Actually, if Thaddeus Moss gets to 22 now, I think you kind of have to take him. I don't think he's going to get there, though. That's fine. Ooh, A.J. Dillon. Carter Coughlin. Meh. Roquan Williams from Michigan State. I really like. All right. So sitting here looking at the big board. I like Roquan Williams. Rodney Smith from Michael Devaney Jr. from LSU. I think that he does bring a lot to the table. There are some red flags there. Let me call P. Ryan. Excuse me. I watched him in the bowl game. He's really, really good. Shaheem Carter is there. I already got 3 pieces in the secondary. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. 1 for Roquan Williams, 2 for running back, 3 for linebacker Michael Devaney Jr. So D-line, running back, linebacker. All right, so we're all over the board. Lots of 1, 2, 3s. Man, this is going to be tough. A lot of 1s coming on. We'll go 10 more seconds here. Man, this is tough. All right, looks like primarily it's going to be the 1s. So we are going to go defensive line. Roquan Williams, Michigan State, come on down. And then the other 6th-round pick is coming up here. Yeah, back on board. All right. So of the leftovers, it was a lot more 3s than 2s. So we are going to take Michael Devaney Jr., a linebacker from LSU. You're in. And 7th round, like I said, is just going to be dealer choice since we're at this point in the game. Start the round. Rodney Smith is still there chilling. Same thing with P. Ryan. All right, so I'm going to go P. Ryan, power back from Florida. As the rest of this rolls and throws. Don't need a kicker. Don't need a punter. Kind of nice. Pretty amazing. Quarterback-wise, I mean, Montez, Lurick from Michigan State. I feel like he had a lot more potential that just never really panned out. Shea Anderson, no. Yeah. We're just going to go with the wild card. Khalil Tate, come on down. And wide receivers, I'm going to take Tyreek. Juwan Johnson still there? Yeah, go Tyreek Cleveland. All right, so I'm going to wrap up recap here. So our cooperative NFL draft. So Austin Jackson coming in as your left tackle of the future. Jeff Gladney comes in and starts the day 1 outside cornerback. Antoine Winfield be in the slot, be in safety role. Going to be doing a lot of things in the Vikings secondary. Ezra Cleveland come in left guard, potentially also backup for left tackle. Antonio Gandy Golden, just a physical monster freak, small school dude. Taking him, I don't think he's going to be ready week 1. So I think you are looking to BC Johnson. Let's go wide receiver 2. 3rd round, we got defensive lineman James Lynch out of Baylor. Just a lot of great penetration there. Lebert Hill, I think was great value in the 4th round at cornerback coming out of Michigan. 5th round, speaking of value, Salomon Kinley out of Georgia, just adding another great piece to the offensive line. I love it. I love young competition. It's great. Same thing with Roquan Williams, adding him to the defensive line. 6th round, back end of it, Michael Devaney Jr. If he can keep his head on straight, can become a decent backup linebacker, a decent special teams guy, basically a replacement for Kentrell Brothers. And then 7th round, let me call P. Ryan, a bit of a power back from Florida. I would like him in the scheme, as well as just pick Khalil Tate. It's like, you got to take a quarterback at some point, as well as Tyreek Cleveland, who's very highly touted recruit, just never really panned out at Florida. And that is it. Man, thank you very much, Jeromes, who stuck through the whole thing. Big Q&A session, a big cooperative 7-round interactive mock draft. This was a lot of fun. We'll do this again. Maybe we'll work on voting or something. We'll figure out a way to do it better. But thank you very much for coming along. Stay safe out there. Stay entertained during quarantine, during this very interesting time in life. But till next time, Skull, production value.